Welcome. We've got a great video for you today. We're going to be talking about how to get $2,000 per month from the Canada Pension Plan. We're going to be talking about what it takes to get $2,000 CPP payments every single month in retirement. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get the $2,000 payment from CPP every single month. So what are the things that you need to do to make that happen? We're going to take a look at an actual retirement plan and see how this fits into that retirement plan, see how it helps the retirement plan, how it helps us achieve our spending goals in retirement. We're also going to look at how this unlocks a new strategy. So maybe a strategy you're not even thinking about, how this unlocks that additional strategy that can also help your retirement plan. And then we're going to go over some pros and cons, because although this sounds great, there could be some reasons why you may not want to do this within your retirement plan. Now, Canada Pension Plan is the cornerstone of every single retirement plan in Canada. If we think about the types of income in retirement in Canada, Canada Pension Plan is usually the base. It's the cornerstone that all of the other types of income are built on top of. So on top of the Canada Pension Plan, you might have old age security payments, guaranteed income supplement, GIS payments. You might have pension payments as well, and you might have payments from an RSP RIF, from a TFSA, or from a non-registered account. But at the core, at the base, we've got the Canada Pension Plan as the base income for almost every retirement plan in Canada. And the bigger that we can make CPP, the more it lifts up all of those other income sources in retirement. So the more income we can get from CPP, the more income we can get for the entire retirement plan. So how do we get $2,000 per month from the Canada Pension Plan? Well, first we have to understand how the Canada Pension Plan credit works. We need 35 credits to get the maximum CPP payment if you start at age 60. We need 39 credits if you want to get the maximum CPP payment at age 65. To get a credit, to get a full credit towards the Canada Pension Plan, you have to have employment earnings in the year above the year's maximum pensionable earnings, the YMPE. You can go on to the Government of Canada site. It shows you the YMPE and the new additional YMPE for the new CPP2 benefit. You have to have employment income above this threshold every year if you want to get a full credit towards Canada Pension Plan in the future. So at the core, we need to have 35 credits to get max CPP at age 60. We need to have 39 of these credits to get max CPP at age 65. Now you can actually see this on the Service Canada website. If you go look at your CPP contributions, you can take a look at your CPP contributions, your past contributions, your pensionable earnings, and if you see little M's there, that means that you've made the maximum contribution for that year. So that means you earned a full credit towards CPP for that given year. So add up all of those little M's, see how many you have. Those all represent a maximum credit towards CPP, and then think about your future earnings. As long as you're over the YMPE, the year's maximum pensionable earnings, you will be getting full credits towards CPP until you reach retirement. So you need 35 credits if you're going to start CPP at 60, and you need 39 credits if you're going to start CPP at age 65. So how do we get $2,000 a month from CPP in retirement? Well, if we start at age 60, the maximum we can get is a little over $900 per month at the moment. So that's well short of our goal. If you start at age 65, the maximum you can get is a little over $1,400 per month from the Canada Pension Plan. So again, short of our goal. If we want to get over $2,000 a month from the Canada Pension Plan, we need to get the full 39 credits to the CPP, the full 39 maximum credits, and we need to defer CPP until age 70. If we defer until age 70, we're going to get over $2,000 per month if we've made the maximum contributions for 39 years. That's how we can get $2,000 a month from the Canada Pension Plan. Now, my name is Owen. I'm an advice-only financial planner, a CFP, and I'm the founder of Advice. Now, before we look at what this looks like in an actual retirement plan, before I show you how a $2,000 CPP payment actually unlocks additional strategies in your retirement plan. I would ask you for a small favor. If you are enjoying the video so far, I would ask you to like and subscribe. It does help us reach more people. Okay, let's take a look at this in some actual financial planning software. We're going to be using the Advice platform. You can actually use Advice on your own for just $9 a month or $49 for the year. Just go to advice.ca. Let me show you how we got this set up. So let's go to the income section here. We've used simple planning mode. We've just got their gross employment income for the next year. They're retiring at age 60. So we've got their gross employment income. That's all we have to do here. In expenses for the current snapshot, we've just entered their savings rate. Again, if you're in simple planning mode, that's all you really have to do. So we're adding their $2,000 per month that's going towards their RSP and TFSAs. Now in retirement, we've just added their total spending goal, which is about $70,000 a month, which is about what they're spending today. So $35,000 each per year. Now if we go to assets, we can see what they have today, a little over 700,000 here, almost 800,000, most of it in RSP and TFSA. They've also got a home that's worth about $900,000 there. So there's always some equity that they could tap into in the future. They do have a little bit of debt. There's a small mortgage that they're going to get paid off this year. So it's good timing. They're going to pay it off and then they're going to retire early next year. So good timing on the mortgage payoff. No other things to notice here except for the tax and benefits section. We did enter their detailed CPP pensionable earnings over time. We do have, for Karen here, we do have the maximum. So she doesn't quite get to the YMPE. So a little bit less on Karen's side. For David, we do have a little bit more, a little bit higher salary. So a bit more in CPP credits here. So this is important if you're building a retirement plan that relies on CPP. You want to do a detailed CPP estimate. Now let's go to the foundation section. We can see what these CPP payments look like. So in CPP and OAS estimate, we've got here for Karen, the $17,000 per year, a little over $1,400 per month. A little bit higher for David. Again, there's CPP2 baked in there as well for this year. So David's going to get a little bit more, but again, around that $1,400 per month. If we delay until age 70, we'd be getting $24,000 a year or $2,000 a month. So that's that $2,000 a month if they delay until age 70, and if they've got those 39 years of maximum contributions. Now let's take a look at their scenario here, and then let's create a scenario with the $2,000 per month CPP payment. So their base scenario here is with CPP of $1,400 a month, starts at age 65. Overall, not a bad plan. So we've got their retirement income mostly coming from registered assets in the beginning, then CPP and old age security. Then we've got TFSA a little bit later. And again, CPP makes up the core, the base of their retirement income. Overall success rate 61%, not too bad, but there's a bit of risk there. So they're spending $70,000 a year all the way through. It does go up with inflation, but we're looking at this in today's dollar. So purchasing power parity. And if we look at net worth, we do see they're drawing down on financial assets until 65. Then it starts to flatten out a little bit because they've started CPP and old age security in this scenario starting at 65, but that doesn't give us that $2,000 per month. So here success rate's okay, but not great at 61%. So there's a bit of risk of running out of money at age 78 in the 10th percentile. They do have a lot of home equity to fall back on. So maybe Karen and David aren't super worried about this, but maybe we can make that a little bit better if we look at the $2,000 per month CPP payments. So let's make a copy of this scenario and let's rename it, and let's call this the $2,000 per month CPP copy. So what we need to do to get $2,000 a month, we're going to go down to the AI strategies. We're going to select everything but the retirement spending, survivor scenario, asset allocation. And already we can see the top strategy here is for David to delay CPP until age 70. That's going to start giving us that maximum $2,000 plus per month payment from CPP. And we're going to do the same thing from Karen here as well. So we're going to enable that strategy as well. And now we can see that per year, they're getting over $48,000 in the future. This does start at age 70. The first month here, they don't get payments. So in the first year, they're getting 11 out of 12 months payments. Next year, they're getting full 12 months, so over $48,000 a year. And their success rate has improved. We're up to 82% now. So actually, there's some longevity protection here as well if we delay the Canada Pension Plan benefit. There's probably some other stuff we can do here, but I want to show you the additional strategy that this unlocks if we delay CPP until age 70 and we get those $2,000 per month in CPP payments. So let's make a copy of this scenario. So in this copy, what we're going to do is we're going to apply the 8-year GIS strategy. Now this is a controversial strategy. If you've watched our previous video about the 8-year GIS strategy, you'll know that it does allow you to qualify for guaranteed income supplement despite having maybe $500,000 or more in financial assets. So this is a controversial strategy, but for Karen and David, it can be quite effective now that they've chosen to maybe delay their CPP benefit until age 70. So to implement this strategy, I'm going to come down to the projection table. I'm going to scroll to the right. I'm going to open up their 2 RSP accounts. And what we want to do, if you watch that previous video, is we're going to zero out their RSP income until age 71. So between age 64 and 71, we want to remove all of those RSP withdrawals, and they're going to withdraw from the TFSA instead. So that's all we have to do for this 8-year GIS strategy. In this case, we're going to recalculate this plan. We're going to see the success rate increase to 93%, and their lifetime GIS has gone up as well. So with this strategy, with the $2,000 per month coming from the Canada Pension Plan, we don't get GIS in the future. They're getting too much from the Canada Pension Plan to qualify, but it does unlock that 8-year GIS strategy where they can get GIS benefits until about age 71. So there is a significant advantage here if they can execute this within their retirement plan. The challenge is they do need some financial assets to pull this off. They do need some assets in a TFSA. Now, you might be wondering, what about a survivor scenario? So let's make a copy of this. Let's implement a survivor scenario where maybe David passes away early at age 80. So let's see what that looks like, because that's one of the risks here, is that if we delay CPP until age 70, a survivor scenario could perhaps cause a problem. So let's add a survivor scenario here, and let's go down again to the AI strategies. This time we are going to filter on the survivor scenarios, and we're going to select life expectancy at age 80 for David. So let's enable that one. We can already see the success rate drops. So that is going to be a bit of a challenge. However, we haven't adjusted spending yet. So Karen is still spending $70,000 a year. So let's reduce that. If we go down into the table here, we can come back to their retirement spending. And the year after David passes away at age 81, we're going to reduce spending by $20,000 a year. That still leaves Karen with $50,000 a year once we remove it. So it's still quite a bit of retirement income, retirement spending, but we do need to do that to improve the success rate in a survivor scenario. So now we're back up to 77%, not too bad. And again, we have the home equity to fall back on. So this gives Karen a plan B in case something unfortunate happens or Karen or David were to pass away earlier within the plan. Now let's go back to that CPP at 65, the $1,400 a month. Let's also make a survivor scenario for this one. Let's just see so we can compare those two together. So let's add a survivor scenario. Whoops, let's add survivor there. And let's do the same thing. So let's go down into the AI strategies. We're going to select life expectancy at 80 for David. This looks worse than the other one. So at age 70, delaying CPP until age 70 may not be so bad. Let's also add the spending reduction. So at age 81, we're going to reduce this by $20,000 per year, and we're just going to cascade that down to the end of the plan. So that's going to give Karen again $50,000 a year. Now we're up to 54% success rate. So in this case, actually, we're in a worse position. So delaying CPP until age 70, getting $2,000 a month in CPP payments, and implementing that GIS strategy that gets unlocked actually leads to a better overall plan, even with a survivor scenario starting at age 80. Now let's compare these scenarios together. I want to show you what they all look like. So let's go here and remove these. We can go through together. So here we've got CPP of $1,400 a month starting at age 65. So then all of a sudden net worth doesn't drop quite as quickly. What we did is we added CPP at age 70 here. So that gives us a higher payment. There's a break-even point that happens at age 82. However, if we add the GIS strategy that gets unlocked, look at this. We've got a break-even point at age 71. So delaying CPP until age 70, unlocking that GIS strategy between, sort of 64 and 71, 8-year GIS strategy, it does now lead to an even better break-even point than just the pure CPP delay until age 70 alone. So that looks pretty good. And now let's look at the survivor scenario. So here we've got a little bit of a risk here. If David were to pass away earlier in the plan, could be Karen as well. So if they were to pass away at age 80, but actually if we started CPP at age 65, they're not in a better position. So again, we're unlocking that 8-year GIS strategy. We're delaying CPP until age 70. We're getting $2,000 a month in CPP payments. And in pretty much all situations, except for maybe at age 69, this looks better. So delaying CPP until age 70, getting $2,000 a month from CPP, and implementing that GIS strategy looks extremely attractive for Karen and David. Now, getting $2,000 a month from CPP does sound great. It does look good, as we just saw. Depending on your retirement situation, it can definitely help your retirement plan quite a bit. But let's go over the pros and cons. Let's talk about why you may want to consider this strategy and why you may not. Now, on the pro side, one of the benefits of getting $2,000 a month from the Canada Pension Plan is that you have more inflation protection going forward. Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security, Guaranteed Income Supplement are all inflation adjusted. So the more you get from these benefits, the more inflation protection you have going forward into retirement. Now, the other benefit, the other pro, is that you have less investment risk. The more you get from the Canada Pension Plan, the less investment risk you have. You're going to get those payments no matter what happens to the investments, the stock market, your investment portfolio. So getting more from CPP reduces your investment risk. The other reason why getting $2,000 a month from CPP is maybe better is it's just simpler in late retirement. You're going to be getting quite a bit from CPP. You're going to be getting old age security benefits. That might cover all of your core living expenses going forward. So as a retirement plan, as a retirement strategy, it's quite simple. It's quite easy to execute. You're just going to get those payments every month. And there's something nice about that simplicity. The last pro, the last benefit, is that it does unlock this GIS strategy. Now, this is a controversial strategy, but it does unlock this strategy. If you delay CPP until age 70, you get the $2,000 a month from Canada Pension Plan. It does unlock that GIS strategy that we talked about. Now, there are some cons to getting $2,000 a month in Canada Pension Plan payments. One is you have less cash flow between 60 and 70. So you're delaying those CPP payments until age 70, which means you need some sort of financial assets to close that gap. Otherwise, you're going to have a significant cash flow problem for those 10 years. That's the other con to this strategy, is that you need financial assets to pull this off. So if you don't have additional financial assets, then delaying CPP from 60 to 65 to 70 may not be feasible. Starting Canada Pension Plan at a certain age provides a psychological benefit. You don't have to draw on your investment assets. You're getting that money that you've paid into for so long. You're getting that money out. And so there's a psychological impact if you delay your CPP until age 70 to get the $2,000 per month in CPP payments. Now, the last risk here is that survivor risk. If you have a partner, a spouse, and all of a sudden they pass away just after starting their CPP at age 70, then you've got a bit of a survivor risk problem within your plan. So delaying your benefit until age 70, drawing down your other financial assets, it does create a little bit of a risk there from a survivor scenario perspective. So you want to think about health and longevity before you decide whether or not $2,000 per month from CPP fits within your retirement plan.